Alright everyone, welcome to Tomahawk DIY. Today we've got a gas oven that will not warm, so we're going to do a little troubleshooting and learn how to fix what turns out to be an igniter problem. So first I'm checking it, turn it on, and it turns out it will not actually heat inside. Now, in trying to figure out where the problem is, check the gas burner at the front, and that lights up, so you know there's gas to the unit. And we'll also check the broiler to see if the broiler turns on. And if we watch on here, it will actually ignite. If you look in the back, you'll see an igniter start warming, and then once that reaches the correct temperature, we should see a flame come. So we know there's gas to the unit. Alright, turned off the gas, and we'll check out underneath the oven. You can pull out this this drawer, or there might be a panel across the front that you have to get out to look back at the gas valve. So okay, under the gas oven here, we've got the drawer out, or you may have a panel. So under the oven, let's take a look at what we've got. You have your gas line coming in, and you have a, I think this is the regulator. You've got one line in the back that runs up to the gas on top of the stove, on the stovetop. You have this controller here that has a couple gas lines, one that runs up here to the broiler, and one that runs right here to warm your oven. So the fact that the broiler worked and lets me know that gas is going through here, the fact that the oven isn't heating lets me know that gas isn't going here. So we've got a few wires. These go up to the elements that heat those electrical elements that will heat up until the gas is released and it warms the oven. You can recognize which wires go to those. They'll be, if you feel them, they're typically white, and they're wrapped with, it's like a braided flame resistant type material. So in this case, these are a couple of those igniter wires. So let's take a look inside the oven. Alright, if we open up the oven, I've removed the racks already, and we want to get at the burner. In this particular GE oven, the burner is under the panel here. So at the back there's a couple screws. I've already loosened them, but there's two screws at the back, and then along the front there is a lip or a ledge that helps hold this in. So if we remove the screws, then this whole panel can lift up and it'll slide in like so, and it can be pulled out of the oven. Alright, so once this is out of the oven, let's see what we've got in here. Turn on the oven light, give us a little light to see. Here is the igniter electrode, and here's the gas burner. So we're going to go back up and turn on the oven to see what happens. Turned on to bake, should be starting, and we should see this igniter begin to glow orange. So from that we see that the problem is with that igniter electrode. Next step is to check that the wires are secure and aren't loose or anything, and provided that's the case, then the next step is to remove the igniter and replace it with a new one. Alright, don't forget to turn off the oven after you've tried to start up. Now if your oven won't heat at all and the burner's on the top of the oven, if it doesn't turn on here at the burners and you seem to have no gas, nothing that would heat on your oven, then your problem may be back on this regulator where there's a safety switch. In this particular oven, the switch is here on the side of the regulator. It's similar for other ovens, and it can be turned down. If that switch is turned down, you'll find that nothing in the oven will turn on. if your elements will glow, both the element up on the broiler up here, if that glows, and the element down at the bottom for the oven, if both of those will glow when you turn on the oven, but will not, doesn't actually start the gas, then your problem is likely this switch down below. And so sometimes the switch, if you've been moving or handling the oven, may have gotten bumped or jiggled. In this case, we'll turn that on, and that will allow the gas to flow again, so the oven can start. You want to find which wires go to the element that you're trying to fix. So it may be helpful to have someone with you. You can jiggle wires and check to see inside the oven that they move. Alright, so let's look at how to disconnect this igniter. If you look back behind it, it's a little tough to see in the video here, but there's a couple bolts right under the igniter that you have to get out. Disconnect those to remove the igniter. Down below, once you've identified which wires belong to the igniter, you can disconnect them. In this case, it's this plug here and this plug right here, the back one. So with that, we've got them removed, and we can pull these up into the oven. So we'll reach back and see if we can pull these up. And here we have our two leads. Now we'll get these bolts that are under unscrewed. Alright, once you've got the bolts removed, on this particular model it was a little tricky to get at them, but with some care and the right socket was able to get the bolts out. You can take your igniter and go get a replacement. You may have to go to an appliance store or pick up an appliance part online. They may have some generic models that you can use, or you may be able to track down the exact replacement using your oven part number. You may also be able to use an ohm meter to check the leads and check for proper connection. However, given the fact that this unit wasn't heating at all, that suggests the problem is with the igniter itself. Once you get a new part, replace it, reassemble everything, and when you first plug it in, make sure it actually is heating before you do all the reassembly to confirm that the problem truly was this igniter. Alright, so you've got a new connector here. You'll find the leads don't have wires, don't have the plugs on them. You'll need to take your old ones off. You can simply clip them, and then once you've clipped them, you can use your wire strippers to remove the shielding from the old leads, and use your wire nuts to tie the new igniter wires to the old leads, and you'll be good to go. Reinstall your igniter, and you can have your oven up and running.